Hey, what's up everybody and welcome to Solshow, and today we are gonna have ourselves another amazing video, and this is gonna be another one of those memory vault type of videos that I've made before. I've done a couple videos like this where I'm gonna be talking in depth about just a cool experience, this one being another concert I went to. And the band that I went to go see was none other than a band called Fozzy. And if you're not familiar with Fozzy, you might, if you watch pro wrestling, be a little bit familiar with it. The lead singer is a WWE wrestler who I follow named Jericho. He is a very big wrestler, and he does a lot of other outside extracurricular activities, his band being one of them. And as far as, you know, me on the fandom, where do I lie? I didn't know that much about Fozzy for most of the time I was watching wrestling. Very recently, I have delved a little bit into his music, and he was coming to town, and we got tickets, and the venue that we were supposed to watch it at in our town got canceled. There's fucking weird laws where I live, I guess, or something, but bands just can't come here, I guess. It's like a law. So Jericho, Fozzy, they moved the venue. The date was the same, just different venue. I had to drive an hour out. Kind of bullshit, but it was well worth the experience. We got the extra VIP ticket thing that a lot of concerts do, and so we got to show up early. We got to watch just this kind of sound check, just right when they got into the building, just first sound check, that type of shit. We got, the autograph signing, quick meetup, the usual stuff that I'm sure happens at these. This is actually my first, just chilling in the same, room with a band type gig. And as far as Jericho, it was so good seeing this dude, because I've obviously watched him for at least half to a whole decade. And seeing him in this whole new light with his friends, and they're doing this thing, and he's just on the road with fucking hair, and he's doing his costumes, and he loves this band. You can see at the end of the day, he's not doing anything spectacular here. He was, this wasn't a sold out arena like WrestleMania, which I saw. I guess that was the first time I saw him. And don't be scared, we're going on a little bit of a journey. I got a signed Fozzy thing now where my lady friend got a signed vinyl. That's my first vinyl. The 10-second conversation I had with Jericho was about that. There was some signed CDs there, so I just bought that one, and then that's my signed thing on as part of the collection now. As far as the concert itself went, there's 3 opening acts. I'm gonna go a little bit in depth with all of them, so please try to look up these bands. They all had very interesting sounds. I think they're worth listening to. The first one was a band called Nephilim. It's spelled Nephilym. They just were the local guys who love North Carolina, and they had a very, not special sound. It was something a casual fan could listen to, but they still did a great job. The second band was called The Stir. They were probably my least favorite. They were very, serviceable. It was kind of there's this long dude with an afro, and they're making this very just loud, garagey type shit that I'm not really all that into, but I could see some people were into it. It just wasn't for me. And the last group, a good amount of the crowd actually came just to see this group. They were called Gemini Syndrome, and these guys had a crazy aesthetic. I loved their outfits. It was they were straight character designs from some kind of like guitar hero, like create a rocker type shit. The lead singer has these white dreadlocks and beard. There's this guy on guitar with just tattoos on his face, and his face was like shrouded in this and then there was this older dude who was also on guitar. He had eyeliner and tattoos, and he was just fucking intense. And then there was this drummer guy. I love the drummer guy. He was this fucking weird guy in the back who just made facial expressions, and he was like blah, and he has like sideburn things. I was so obsessed with what they looked like that like their music like was almost an afterthought. Yeah, they had really good sound. It was another you know, type of rock music that, you know, I can get into. I like them. I checked out, I think, their album first. Really got into it the first time I listened to it. I'm hopefully gonna listen to it more. And then there was Fozzy. I haven't seen Fozzy live in any clips or anything. I haven't even fully listened to any of their albums before, like, you know, prepping for this concert. So if that gives you an idea. It was a very cool performance. Chris Jericho, I think, as a musician, like, I've heard this guy cut so many wrestling promos for, like, however many years. I just couldn't, like, get into his singing voice. It was corny for some reason. But I think seeing him live really, like, confirmed in my mind. He's been doing this for a fucking minute. He has a legit standing as a musician. He is actually, you know, doing pretty impressive, like, fucking screaming, and the songs, he has a good voice for a catchy song. The new song Judas off of this album I've had in the back of my mind. Judas in my mind, what have I become now that I betrayed everyone I love and push them all away. The hook to that song is pretty nice. And I was like one of few people who, like, because they're playing some of their newer shit, and, you know, I could tell, you know, people can't listen to new shit right away, and, like, whereas me, I haven't listened to old shit that they did, but I, you know, got up on that new album, and I knew the lyrics, and I was like, yeah, I'm a good fan. The show went on. I love Chris. I marked out for a couple things. He had the light up jacket. I didn't know never mind. If you're not a wrestling fan, this won't make sense. And he also made a reference to the list for the wrestling fans. And he's pretty, like, funny. He was, like, dissing the other venue at one point. He was like, fuck that other venue that wouldn't let us in. Burn it down. That type of shit. When we were doing the meet and greet, there was this one guy who was like, where are the ropes? You know, because, like, wrestling. And he was like, what ropes? To hang myself for that joke? And I bugged out, and I felt bad for laughing in that guy's face. And my favorite part of maybe the whole show, he was like, okay, we're not going to do an encore because you know how it works. The fucking music goes out, you all fucking chant Fozzy. He's like, fuck that, we're just gonna stay here, we're gonna do our shit, we're not gonna play with your emotions, let's just fucking do it. And the whole band just seemed ecstatic. They seemed like they were on their shit. I'm sure for some of them it was just another day at the office, but they make their days at the office look pretty damn fun. Not gonna lie. And I did another concert that was a rock group. I didn't get that video out. It was lost in the ether. But I'm happy I was able to do this one. And I hopefully will have this up for SOLTOBER. And if I do, thank you so much for watching. And I hope these SOLTOBER videos are going great. And thank you as always, guys. It's another memory video for me. These videos are important to me. And I hope you can get something out of them. And yeah, thank you so much for watching as always. And with that, I leave you.